everybody, welcome. My name is Joyce Whitman. I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! And I just want to make sure that I can get this on my computer so I can see it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Welcome, guys. I know I already said that, but I'll say it again. My name is Joyce Whitman, and I'm an independence demonstrator for Stampin' Up! And I am so glad you are joining me tonight. Today, I am going to be making our corner fold gift card holder. I made this one for a blog hop last week, and I got so many emails, text messages, Facebook messages, comments on Facebook. Do you have a tutorial? Hi, Bev. Thank you for joining. Do I have a tutorial on how to make it? And at that time, I did not. So I thought, well, okay, let's do it. So I went ahead this time and I made it as a birthday card. And I used the beautiful stamp set, Sweet as a Peach. This is the stamp set. And here are the dies that go with it. These are called Peach dies, so that's easy to remember, isn't it? Now, I did use the designer series paper that go with this stamp set too, and it is called You're a Peach. And here are the beautiful papers that are in this set, and here are the coordinating colors. Now, I made this up so that if you are interested, hi Judy, thank you for joining. I have these, and what I did was I just went ahead and put on the title and then what colors coordinate, and I did item number and the price, and then these are 2 by 2 inch squares, and then I also used a 1-inch punch and punched these out. So I have these for all of my designer series paper, so I'm not flipping through the paper. I can see it all on here. If anyone's interested in the PDF for this, just let me know, and I will send that to you. Before we get started, I do want to remind you of one thing, my holiday extravaganza. Woo-hoo. I'm so excited we get to have this in person this year. It will be on September 25th in Fairborn, Ohio at the Twin Base Golf Course. If you can't make it, but you're interested in it, shoot me an email, because if I get enough people interested in it, I will be also doing it online. So just give me a shout if you want to do that. And if you want to participate in the live run, go to stampandscrapper.com and you can see that link. And it's also on here. I did a Facebook Live about it and telling you what kind of fun we have and how the day runs. So if you got any questions, let me know. So now let's get started with this. That's why we're here tonight. Okay, we're going to start, and like I said, we're going to make this card right here. A happy birthday. I needed a happy birthday card, so I thought it was perfect. We might as well make it. Now, there are a lot of little papers, but it's not too bad. So what you're going to need is I used Calypso Coral for this, and is it 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. You're going to need 2 pieces of 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then your designer paper is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I have a little piece of white that is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And you're going to have a designer series paper that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You're going to have another piece of Whisper White that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. And your designer series paper is 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. This is a 1/2 inch by 5 3/8. And then we have, I just did a 1/2 inch. And then when I stamp it, we'll cut it down. So I just took a 1/2 inch strip of white paper for this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. Now it's not hard. You just need to pay attention. Hi, Penny. Thank you for joining. If you guys could be so kind as to share this, I would really appreciate and help get my name out there. You're going to need your trimmer for this. Now, this is one thing, and I'll tell you, I made this, probably, hi, how are you? What, hump day, woohoo. Sorry, lost my train of thought, I was excited. Thank you for sharing. What you're going to have to do with this is really concentrate on your cutting for this section, for this flip part right here. How do I know this? Because I tried to do it in a hurry and it didn't work and I messed it up. So we're going to take our time, but you know what? If it messes up, get a new piece of paper. You're good. Okay, so here is my 4.25 inch score line. So I know this is going to be the inside of my card. So this left side is going to be the front of the card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this at 2.5. So if you open this up, no, I'm not. I'm going to turn it that way and I'm going to measure 2.5. So if you open it up here, this is 2.5 inches. So I'm going to line this up at 2.5. And I'm going to look for my mark, and I'm going to show you on a ruler. I'm looking for 5/8 inch. So this is a 1/2 inch. You want this line right here, the next one. Not the skinny one, you want the 1/4 inch. So that's 5/8 of an inch. So that's where we're going to start out. Now you don't want to click this down yet. Line up your trimmer, and it has, here, let me take this out of it. It has this line right here where you're going to line it up to 5/8. Let me put that in there at 5/8, and I'll slide the paper in just so you can see what I'm talking about. Oops, and I moved it. Okay, so I want that line, this line right here, lined up with my 5/8 inch mark right there. I think you can see that. Oh, the light's shining on it. Let me see. Is that better? Okay, so right there's my 5/8 line, 5/8, and there is the line, and that's how I want to line it up. But I'm not going to put this down because that's not the side I want to cut on. I want to cut on this side. And hold on, let me double check. Yes, we're going to put it here is your left-hand side. Here is your right-hand side. So we're going to do it on our left-hand side. We're going to line it up at 2.5. And we're going to start at 5/8. So I'm putting my finger under here so I can make sure it's lined up at 5/8. Then I can click it down. And I'm going to go to 3 inches. And then lift it up. I like to sometimes when I cut, I go up and down or down and up, whatever. And I did that on the first one I did, and I cut it right through again. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, so now you're going to turn it. You have this cut right here. We're going to turn it this way, and we're going to line it up at 3 inches. So what we're doing now is we're going to be making this cut right here. Again, line it up at 3 inches. So that is the distance between here and here. You're going to line it up again at 5/8. You see my head in here. I apologize. I'm trying to get it lined up around the camera and the lights. Okay, that's 5/8. And you're going to bring it down to 3 inches. Ah, I did it again. I almost went too far. Okay, so now here you have your cut right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold this in half like this. And we're going to score it. And why doesn't that look right? That does not look right. And that is not cut correct. See what I mean when you mess up? Okay, let me do it again because I did something wrong. Oh my goodness, what did I do? Okay, well, we're going to learn from this. See, we make mistakes too. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to cut this at 5.5. Oh, I know what I did. And I'm going to score it at 4.25. Okay, so again, we want to turn it this way. 2.5. That cut was, okay, hold on here. Okay, that cut was correct. Oh no, wait a minute, I did it right. Sorry, I did do it right. It did not look right when I looked at it. I apologize. Nope, I did do it right. Woo! Okay, sorry about that. I did do it right. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to bend it just like this. Take it and bend. Now this is where some people will make a diagonal score line. I don't like to do that because I like to make sure I can move this, and I'm going to make sure this line is straight. See how I'm doing this? I'm barely pushing this down. I want that to be straight, and then this is going to be straight, and I'm going to push it over. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go like that, and there we go. Perfect. And then see, here we go. And I am not down far enough. I cut it down too far. Okay, where's my ruler? Okay, I thought I had bumped it, and I did. I had bumped this when I cut it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to mark, and this is where I need to fold it. I need to fold it right. See if this will work. It's not. Okay. I did bump it. So we'll do it again. So I'll teach you how to do this again. Okay. So we got 2.5 here. I'm going to double check so I make sure I'm cutting this correctly. Yep, 2.5. We're going to start at 5/8. I'm just going to teach you guys how to do it twice. 5/8 by 3. Okay, and that's where, when I moved it, I bumped it and it went too far. So I'm going to lift it up and not touch it. And I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to line it up at 3 inches. And I'm going to go back to the 5/8 inch. And I'm going to go down to the 3 inch. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and fold it in half. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to turn it. Now, I did cut a little bit further here. Doesn't matter. We're going to cover that up. The ones you have to be concerned about are the end ones here. So now we're going to turn it. There, that looks better. Because see how wide this is? And on this one, it was a lot wider. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. Well, that's because I did go too far. There, that looks much better. Okay, yay! So like I said, you have to be careful with this. And then if you do this where I messed up, guess what? I'm going to cut this out. I can use this for scrap, and I can use this on other projects. Don't throw away this whole piece. Save it, and you can cut it up and use it for different projects. So, okay, there we go. Now we got it. Yay! Okay. So now, when we go ahead and this is our done, this is what we're going to do next. We're going to take one of our papers that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and we're going to tape down that thin strip of 1/2 inch by 5 3/8. We're going to take that and we're going to tape it on the inside. And you're going to just line it up on the edge here. There we go. And then we're going to tape it on the inside of the card. And you're probably wondering, why are we taping it already? Well, there is a reason. Now, I did not stamp on this. I was not. Oh, yay! Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. If you're going to stamp on the inside of your card, go ahead and do this now before you adhere it. But I'm not going to be stamping on the inside of mine. So the reason why, I got to turn this sideways. You know me. I need to do everything sideways. I am not going to be stamping, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere mine in. Now, the reason we need this is because that's going to help us line up this piece of paper here. So you're going to take your 4 by 5 1/4 and you're going to tape it to your 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now, this is where I had messed up the first time, and I got to keep telling myself, do not tape it all the way around when we go to put it on, and you will understand why when I show you. Okay, so I have this on, but wait a minute. How am I going to get this on here, but I want it under here, but I got to cut this off? I'm going to show you a little trick. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece and you're going to lay it right on top of that piece that you put down on the inside, because we want those even. So that's why we wanted to put the inside in first. So we're going to go ahead. I got that lined up. Now I'm going to make a little line. Let me get this line back up. I moved it. Okay, I want to make sure I'm in so you guys can see me. Okay, I'm going to make a little line. Here is my corner. Now it's at a diagonal, so I also want to draw my line at a little diagonal. And don't worry about, and I just put it on my white. And don't worry about it because we're going to be cutting it off, or it's going to be covered up, or you can erase it. And I'm going to do the same thing down here, but again, I'm going to do it at a diagonal. Now, so we got to get our trimmer out again. And if I'm going too fast on this, just tell me, hey, slow down, repeat it. Or if there's something you want me to show you again, please let me know. Okay, so I have my little mark here, and I have my little mark here. So I'm going to put this mark here. It's at a diagonal, but I want it straight with the cutting line. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. So these are straight. My paper's at a diagonal now. I put it back in here and I line it up again to make sure. Now I know, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and you're going to have this left over. It's okay. You can put it on the inside of your card if you want to. You can do whatever you want with that card piece. And there you go. But don't put this away yet. Don't put it totally away, because I have noticed, even though I line it up like that, there's still times I have to come in here and adjust this cut a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this back over. Now we're just lining it up. And I can tell you right now, I did not cut enough off of this piece up here. And how do I know that? Because when I put it in, look where this one looks pretty good. This one is over. Let me see where am I at? See, it is over my line. So this is when I go in and I do some trimming. I'm going to go in and I'm going to trim it right there. And I'm going to trim this just a little bit. So I'm going to get my cutter out again. And it doesn't matter how many times you do this. This part you're going to have to adjust. Because I've made probably 4 or 5 of these already, and it just varies because you try to get that exactly at 5/8 to 3 inches, and sometimes it just doesn't work out perfect. But this is what's nice. You can keep adjusting this, and no one is going to see this line, because guess what? We're going to glue this flap down, so no one is going to see it. And I kind of like that, so I get a little bit of free leeway there to make it sure that it fits the way I want it. So let's try it again and see where we're at. So I'm just going to kind of line it up where I think it's going to go. And I'm going to bring this, and I'm just holding it here. I'm bringing this flap over, turning my flap over, and seeing if I like this should line up with this, and this should line up with that. And let's see. I like mine. So mine is good. I'm going to keep it. Now, this is the part I messed up on my first card I made. Do not put adhesive here. The only place you're putting adhesive is here, here, and here. Now, you can use tear and tape. You can use adhesive. I am using Stampin' Seal, but you are more than welcome to use tear and tape if you want to. But just remember, do not put it there. Hence the reason I'm telling you a lot, because I did it and it doesn't work. Your card does not work. And do not put any in the inside. You just want it on your edges. Okay, so now I'm going to go in here, and I'm not going to put it down tight. I'm just going to lightly lay it on here because I want to make sure it's perfect before I press it down all the way. Bring this around, Make sure this lines up. That looks good. I like it. So now I can press it down. Now, the reason we don't want to put the tape there is because this is our gift card holder. If you put tape here, it gets sticky here, so your card's going to stick together. And I had put an extra piece here. My card would not go in. It would go like this far, and I'm like, uh-oh. So don't put anything in the inside here, because you don't want your sticky here, and you don't want sticky here. So that's why you only want to go on your edges. And so there we have it in. Yay! So now what I'm going to do is I think it's easier to now just put a piece of tape on here and put this down, because we're not doing anything more with that. So now we want to take our, let's see, this is our 2 1/4 by 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And the white is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So I want the blue. I just used the opposite side. You could use the same side if you want, but I wanted to use the blue this time. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to put this on here. Now these are going to have thin lines around them. I tried the thicker line and I really didn't care for it. So I made mine the thinner lines. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And we're going to go ahead and adhere all of our stuff on here. And then we're going to do the stamping, because I have lots of fun little tricks to show you on the stamping. Please don't tell me I cut this wrong. Nope, I did. Oh my goodness, ladies. What am I doing tonight? Nope, 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, why isn't this fitting then? Okay, so let's take this off. I need to trim one side of it. Let's see if it'll let me trim it. If I can take it off. What? For some reason, mine is a little bit smaller. So what I would suggest is, and this is what I would do if I was making this card. I'm going to take this off, which I should have double checked before I did this, is that this is, one side is 3 inches, one side is 2 7/8. So what I need to do is I need to shorten this by 1/8 of an inch on one side. So I'm going to make this, watch, it's probably going to stick to my thing. We'll find out. Okay, come on, lift up, lift up. Oh, perfect. Now, I do this quite a bit because, you know, we're all human. We want to change the size of something. So when you get sticky on this, take alcohol wipes and just clean it off, and it will come right off. Okay, one side. Oh, no, I need to change this down to, what is this? So I need to go down 1/8 on one side. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's stick this back on. Let me grab my, okay. Oops, this way. Put it back on. Okay, and now we're gonna, because I've touched this, I'm gonna add a little more tape on here. And now we're gonna put on this, but before I put it on, because I changed it, I'm gonna see which way does it need to go, this way or that way, so I know it goes this way. So I'm gonna put it on here. Okay, now, because I took it off and stuff, I want to make sure it's adhered good. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over it. Now, I'm not too concerned. This one raised up a little bit and this one, because I'm covering it up. If not, then I would have added a little more extra adhesive, but I'm okay with that because, like I said, I'm going to be covering it up. Okay, now let's do our inside. And I'm going to measure this before I put it on here to make sure, because I probably am going to have to adjust this one too. Let's see how this looks if I put it in here. Actually, it's going to be okay because I have white here, so we're okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I want, again, I'm doing the blue. So I'm going to put the blue on in here. Okay. Oops, that's on crooked. Goodness, I'm just, you know what it is? I had this afternoon off and my body does not know how to handle it. It is like, nope, you're going to do things weird today. Okay. Well, now you guys know I'm human and I make errors too. Okay. Put it on there and we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere this. Now you could do this, the inside as here. You could do it on the other side. I went ahead and I flipped this time because I wanted to see what it looked like with that. Now I'm just centering this, so there we go. Perfect. Okay, and now our gift card will fit right in there. See, isn't that cool? Are you still with me, or have I lost you because I kept making so many boo-boos? Okay, I work with children. So many errors, I should say. Okay, so let's do the fun part. Let's stamp and decorate this. And I have a fun thing to show you with the ribbon. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you how to stamp. I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me cut it out on the cut and emboss machine. I already have my things cut, but I'm going to show you because I have some stamping techniques I want to show you. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do our peaches. We have 2 of them. And can you see the shading on them here? I'm going to show you how you get that shading. So first of all, we're going to start with, thank you, Karen. So what you're going to do first is I'm going to ink it up with my pale papaya. Then I'm going to take Calypso Coral and I'm going to take my sponge dauber. Now I'm going to ink this up again because I was gabbing. Okay, and then I'm going to take my sponge, that corner. One thing I do like about the photopolymer, you can see, now I had one section that wasn't covering like I wanted it to, so I twisted it. Now these are distinctive, so it's not going to be a solid image. You're going to take your Calypso Coral, and I'm lightly dabbing it on the edges, very light. Remember, you can always add ink. It's very hard to take it off. So I'm just going really light, and then I'm going to stamp it. And huff first, because we've been playing with it. And look at that shading. Isn't that pretty? Now, this is supposed to be not solid. Just to let you know, some people are like, wait a minute. If you look, see, it's not solid on them, and it's not supposed to be. It's texture into the, oh my goodness, I can't speak. In the stamp. So one thing you want to do though when you're doing this, so like I'm going to stamp 2 peaches, clean your stamp every time because you have put dark on here. Now it wouldn't matter if you accidentally put the dark light into the dark, but it does make a big difference if you put the dark into the light. Now, if that happens, this is what you do. If you have dark here, take a baby wipe and lightly take it off, or a wet paper towel, take it off, use your re-inker, ink it up, and use a plastic spoon and smooth it out, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're going to do this again. We're going to light it, put it on the light, we'll move it around, take it on a dark. We're going to take Calypso Coral again, just lightly tap, and we're going to just tap on the outside. And you can kind of see this on your stamp. I want to see something. I'm going to try something. Can you see it? Yes, you can kind of see it if you flip it over. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can kind of see it. I want it a little bit thicker here. Okay, huff on it. That moistens the ink and stamp. And again, there you go. Now, I want to show you another trick. So say I didn't want all this here, like up here I wanted it covered more. I'm going to take my Calypso Coral and I'm going to use my sponge and I'm going to lightly just tap, 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 and see how I filled it in. And I'm just lightly tapping it. And if you wanted this one, get a different sponge dauber and you can use the pale papaya. But that is one way you can fill in when you need a little bit more on it. Even if you're doing a solid image, you can use that trick. You can use a dauber and lightly, because like I said, as I stuck my finger in this, sorry, I have to get a baby wipe. So if you stick your finger in it, use a baby wipe, wipe it off, keep going. But you can do that on a solid image too. Use your sponge daubers and play with it. And you could, most of the time, you can save it. Okay, whoops, you know what? I need these colors out again. We need to do our flowers. So let's do our flowers. And we're going to, again, we only need one set of these flowers. So I'm going to ink them up. Now with my flowers, what I did was I took one side and I decided like on the right side or on the left side. So I'm going to do the right side and I'm just going to go lightly on the right side. Goodness, I can't talk, I can't stamp, I can't cut. What a day. Can we blame it on the sun? Sounds good to me. Okay, close these. Always close up your ink pads. Number one, you don't want them to dry out. Number two, you do not want to get your hands or your projects in it. Huff on them, stamp, and there you go. See the difference in colors? Aren't those pretty? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this one off. Now we're going to do our leaves. And for our leaves, we're going to do the same technique, but we're going to use Pear Pizzazz and Mossy Meadow. So we're going to start with, we'll go with our big one. And then I took my Mossy Meadow. Let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to lightly tap. And again, I'm picking a side I want to do. I'm going to turn this because I like to work on the right hand side. And I want the bottom of my leaves. So I'm just touching them lightly. And I don't always do all of them. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. I'm even putting a little bit on the stem. So I'm going to huff it and stamp. And there you go. Now this one I did a little bit more green, so you get a little bit of light on here. I probably shouldn't have done so much of the Mossy Meadow, but you still get the dimension, and that's okay. I'm happy with it. If you're not, flip your card over and redo it. That's why you never adhere until you have your stamping done, because you can always flip your project over and redo it. Okay, and now, oh goodness, I did it again. I put them away too soon. I need to do my leaves for my peaches. I don't know if I have enough room on here for both, so I will just do one right now to show you what I did. Same technique. Now it's a little bit easier on these leaves because there's only two of them. Okay. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter on this one so it's easier to see. Okay. Huff. There, that one's better to see. See how I did the shading right here and right here? You can see better on here. But this, I put a lot of the darker green on, but here you can see the shading better. And it's kind of hard with the little ones. While I got this out, I'm going to quick go ahead and stamp it again, just so I have all my stamping done, because I will cut these out and use these and make another card like this. And this is if you're going to be making a lot of cards at one time, I would go ahead and do all the leaves at the same time and all the peaches at the same time. And that helps. And that is also called batching. And I'm thinking I can stick it right here and I will be able to cut it out. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to show you how I did my happy birthday I did that one in Calypso Coral. And all of these are out of the Sweetest Peach stamp set. I just love the font in this stamp set. Can't see, let me see. There we go. See that font? Isn't that pretty? I just love this. I wanted the stamp set. I love the stamp set, the peaches and everything. I wanted it really for the fonts and the sayings. Okay. So we're going to do happy birthday. Like I said, this is just a 1/2 inch strip. Oops, I missed the top of my Y. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on here. And I'm going to the left because I already know that's a straight edge. And with this, I want it kind of the sentiment I want cut kind of close to the edge because of getting it on this section here. So I'm just going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut it. I'm making it about the same distance. There we go. And that's done. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to cut these out. By the magic of television, here we go. Here's all of our pieces. Here's our flowers. Oops, and our peaches. Now, this peach is already put together because I had made 3 for this card, but I ended up only using 2 of them. And our happy birthday. So, what to do on this? Now, I want to show you. Some people, you will notice on some cards, they put them on top like this. I personally like mine. Here, let me bring it up. They put it on top like that. I personally like mine behind. You do what you want. It's your card. Oh, thank you for my magic. Okay, now what I'm going to do though before, and I did it afterwards on here, is I am going to use my Wink of Stella because I want them to sparkle a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that on now. Now I'm going to do all my greens first. And then I'm going to go back and I will do my peaches because I don't want the green to blend into the peach. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. I just want to make sure. I'll use the back of this because I'm cutting it. I'm going to clean my brush to make sure I don't have anything on it. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do my peach. And I saw a really cool technique on the peaches to do on the peaches, but I'm going to save that for another Facebook Live. And I love this stamp set so much that I'm actually going to have a class in July with this stamp set. I'm going to have my first in-person class, in 18 months, longer than that actually. Last one was November of 2019. And then I'm also going to be offering it online. I believe I'm going to have it on Thursday the 29th online. So I'm going to be offering it both ways. So what I'm going to do is to adhere this one to here. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape. Make sure I'm in the camera. Okay, I'm going to just stick a little piece there. And what I like to do is I like to kind of just keep it. Oh, you know what? It might help if I put tape on this too, huh? That might help a little. Okay. And then I'm going to stick it on here and there. Okay, so I have this right here. So let's bring our card back in and we're going to decorate. Now, on this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put adhesive here, there, and everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just putting a little adhesive. But there's a little trick here I want you to do. I'm going to put this in the corner, kind of like this. Let's do a little more. There we go. Just tap this. Just tap the bottom part down. Leave these two up like this right now. Then on my big ones, I'm going to put dimensionals because I want those to pop up. So but I'm not putting, like on this top one here, do not put anything on that. Like, don't put a dimensional on that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put these on. So I'm going to stick one up here. And I'm kind of going. Now, I want to show you a trick. You do not see on here that I had cut too far under this peach. I cut too far. Remember I told you, oh, we'll hide it? Well, guess what? We're going to pretend I cut too far. So there was a cut mark right here. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go, oh, wait a minute. I need to hide that. Oh, let's see. How can we put that on here? But make sure that this leaf is not above your card because you want to make sure you can get it in the envelope. That looks good. Okay, I hit it. Woohoo! Yay! But lift this up. Don't let that on there until, now see, you can stick it right here. You want it here, that, there. Now, I do want this up a little bit. So this is a trick, another trick. You guys are getting so many little tips today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Stampin' Dimensional, a mini. Take the top paper off before you even pick it up. So I'm taking the paper off. I just took this off. This is sticky. I'm going to pick it up. Now you can use your take your pick. I love my paper piercer still, but you can use your take your pick. And I'm going to stick that underneath that to hold that up because I want to hold it up. So now let's bring in our other peach. And we're going to put this one over here, kind of like this. And I'm going to tap it, and I'm going to just tap this down. Now that already has tape under it, so we're going to just tap that down. Now, to put on our flower, well, let's do our happy birthday next. I want to show you another trick. Okay, so for our happy birthday, on the birthday end, which is going to be on my right-hand side, I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to put a dimensional on my left-hand side, right-hand side. Why? Because this is already up with a dimensional. My leaf is already up with a dimensional. But if I put a dimensional here, that's going to be double dimensional and it's going to pop up. We don't want that. But we do want this end here to be even. So we're going to put a dimensional there. Well, how are we going to adhere this? Here's the little trick. Then you're going to take and you're going to put adhesive on this end. So you're going to have adhesive on one end, dimensional on another end. Then you're going to come in here and you're going to look and say, that looks good. Now, I am not putting this down tight. I am lightly laying this. Number one, I want to make sure it's straight because it's not straight right now. And number two, I want to make sure I have my flowers in before I put that down tight. Now, here's another trick with your flowers. The paper piercing mat. I love this. Now again, you can use your stylus. You can use your take your pick, whatever you want to do. If you're going to use your take your pick, you're going to use this end right here. If you use the stylus, use the big end, not the little one. You want to use the big end. I like to use my old retired paper piercer, and I like that end. And I'm going to flip them over. And I want them to have some dimension. So I'm going to put it in the middle and push down. And look what it does to my flowers. So let's push this one. Look how it makes them kind of pop up. Isn't that cool? Okay, so we have those. Now what you're going to do with those is you're going to put those. Thank you for sharing, Kathy. You're going to put these on glue dots. And I probably should be using my take your pick. So let me take my take your pick tool out. And, whoops, get my card back out. Now remember, this is not on tight. Here, let's do this. I'm still trying to get used to our dots being on the different side. So I want my big one down here. So I'm going to put it right here. And I'm just pressing in the middle because I want to keep these popping up. My middle one is going to go up here. And my little one is going to go right here. Okay, now I like where they're at. I like the happy birthday. So we're going to go ahead and press everything down. I'm just pressing in the middle there. Perfect, I love it. And I got glue on this. So what you do is, you can get these on Amazon. They're adhesive erasers. You take it and you take it right off. Perfect. Okay, so now to finish this off, before we get to the ribbon, I wanted some rhinestones in the middle of this. I want of the flowers, but I didn't want just plain rhinestones. And I tried to color them with my blends, and I didn't like any of the colors. So I came and got my 21 to 23 in color jewels. So I'm using the Pale Papaya. I'm using a big one for my big flower. And then I'm going to use 2 little ones for my little one, the other 2 flowers. And see, it just adds the perfect amount of little bling, but it still kind of blends in with them. I think that's so cool. I really like the looks of that. So that is what I used for that. Now, I told you I'd show you one more trick. Now, I can't take credit for this trick. My friend Sherry Wait actually is the one that showed me. She did it on a card. I'm like, how did you do that? Okay, so this is the beautiful in color, the card sheer weave, open weave ribbon. And this is Pale Papaya. So what you're gonna do is I cut off, and this one is 18 inches long. So I'm gonna take my scissors. Now I have a pair of scissors that I only use for ribbon. How do I know that? Because I have a piece of ribbon on them. And you're gonna cut down the middle of this. Now it does not have to be perfect. Just cut it in half. Sometimes I get it really straight, sometimes I don't, and you know what? It doesn't matter. Just try to get it down the center the best you can. Sherry's really good at holding it and just taking her scissors and going whoop. I cannot do it no matter how hard I try. I have to cut mine like this. But that's okay. Okay, so, and we cut it to the end. There we go. Okay, so now you have 2 strips of it. Isn't that cool? So now I'm going to take my bow maker and I'm going to make, and I believe this is the size I use, yep. I'm going to make a triple bow with this, but actually it's 6 because I cut it in half. So we're gonna wrap it 1, 2, whoops, hold on, twisted. Sorry, it twisted on me. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna tie my bow. Okay, this piece needs to be a little bit longer. And you just tie it like a regular bow, like you do your regular bows. Now this, you want to make sure you pull really tight so that stays together, because you've got basically 6 pieces of ribbon there. So I got it real tight. Now what I do is on mine, I grab in the center and I play with the tails. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about fluffing this yet. I'll do that when I get it on the card. So we're going to take a glue dot. So I want to make sure this stays, so I'm going to put 2 glue dots on this. One here and one here. So they overlap a little bit. And then I'm going to stick it here, right here. I'll bring down the tails. Okay, now I can fluff my tails, or I should say the ribbon tails, not mine. Okay, and then you can fluff it. Look how pretty that bow is. Isn't that cool? When she showed me that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do that. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut them. That looks good. And like this. And there you go. And there you have your, corner fold gift card holder. And this one we'll use for birthday. And this one you can use for Christmas. Oops, let me get all my junk out of the way so you can see the pretty cards. And there you go. And this is all the cards that I made tonight. And there you are. How cool is that? It's not really hard. Oh, thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much. Oh, that warmed my heart. Thank you. So it's not hard, but like I said, you just got to really concentrate on your cuts. once you get this cut down, it is easy to do. But like I said, take your time. Like I thought I messed up. It's okay if you mess up. Just start over, take your time, do it again. And I will tell you, I made the Christmas one probably, oh gosh, I want to say at least 2-3 weeks ago. And I didn't even look at it. You know, I haven't looked at it since. I'm like, okay, yesterday I'm like, I need to make this card so I know what I'm doing. And I kept messing it up. It took me 3 times to get this because I was trying to do it in a hurry. If you take your time and do it slowly, you will get it. And like I said, everybody messes up. And as you can tell tonight, I really messed up tonight, but that's okay. It's fun. I still had a good time. And that's all that matters, is that you have a good time. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great night. And there you go. Mwah. Bye-bye.